Consider network infrastructure equipment, Indian companies are leading the way in providing high performance routers, switches, and 4G and 5G core and radio access network equipments. These products are essential for both emerging and established telecom operators looking to enhance their network capabilities. Next, we have telecom towers. With the growing demand for connectivity, companies manufacture robust lattice towers and monopoles. These structures are designed for various network needs and are crucial for increasingly expanding coverage, especially in underserved areas. In an age where speed is paramount, fiber optic solution plays a vital role. Indian firms offer high quality fiber optic cables and accessories along with the transmission equipments that ensure rapid data transmission. This technology is key for foreign companies aiming to upgrade their network and meet the increasing demand for bandwidth. Indian startups are producing innovative IoT devices from smart sensors for agriculture to solutions for smart cities. These products open doors for foreign companies to integrate cutting-edge technology into their operations and offer new services to their customers. These are immense opportunities for startups and potential new establishment to leverage upon the technological capabilities and software solutions. Moving to the software side, Indian IT firms provide comprehensive telecom software solutions. These include billing systems and network management tools, essential for enhancing efficiency and improving customer relations. Foreign companies can leverage these solutions to streamline their operations. The Indian telecommunication market is thus brimming with opportunities for foreign companies. From infrastructure to IoT devices to software solutions and consumer electronics, there is a wealth of products that can enhance your operations and expand your reach. In today's world, consumers are increasingly concerned about the safety of products they purchase. Make in India manufacturers are committed to adhering to stringent security standards. This is particularly evident in sectors like electronics and semiconductors, where products undergo rigorous testing to ensure meeting the international safety norms. Lastly, but not the least, it is pertinent to mention that BSNL, Bharat Sanchar Nigam Limited, which is a public sector telecom service provider, has successfully deploying indigenous 4G equipment containing 1 lakh E-Node B, out of which 35,000 E-Node B is today commissioned, whereas Reliance Jio, a private sector telecom provider, has installed indigenous 5G equipment in their network. As we move forward, I encourage you to explore these options and consider the immense potential that collaboration with Indian telecom companies can bring. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing industry insights with us. Ladies and gentlemen, for any startup to evolve, it requires a perfect ecosystem, and government plays an integral role in creating that ecosystem. Moving ahead, now I would like to invite Honorable Shri Piyush Goyal Ji, Commerce and Industry Minister, Government of India, for his inaugural address. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Mr. Subramaniam, for giving me this opportunity to participate in Bharat Telecom. Thank you, Neeraj ji, for your overview of the evolving telecom story in India. Sandeep, who has been very active in all our engagements, promoting the telecom story in India, all the distinguished participants of this 21st edition of Bharat Telecom, ladies and gentlemen. It's indeed a very proud moment for all of us in India that we have the Honorable Prime Minister inaugurate the International Telecom Unions, the ITU's World Telecom Standardization Assembly, which is being held for the first time in India. Or for that matter, I'm told in 150 years it's being held for the first time in India. So truly a very momentous day for all of us, speaks volumes about the growing relevance and importance of India in the world ecosystem related to the telecom industry. And while it's happening along with the 8th India Mobile Congress, it also gives a very strong message to the world that India is now looking at converging our various programs so that what we present to the world is a complete story, a complete solution, and a complete future. There was a time when, forget different elements of industry, even different departments did not talk to each other. I wonder if 10 years ago or 12 years ago, a commerce and industry minister would be ever even invited, forget his coming, to a telecom conference. But what Prime Minister Modi has successfully done is change the mindset of the country. What we are witnessing in this very successful 8th India Mobile Conference is that changed mindset of our beloved nation, where we all work as a team, whether in government, whether in business, whether the 1.4 billion people working towards a developed nation by 2047, with the collective energy of our young population, with the drive that our young men and women bring to the entire journey. I think India thinks today as one nation, Bharat Ek Hai, and that big message of oneness, togetherness, alignment of thinking, alignment of our ambitions is what Prime Minister Modi's biggest contribution to the India story has been, amongst many others. And this changed way of working is evident whether it is the India Mobile Congress, which converges with the ITU's standardization mission, which has merged with the TPC's mission to make India Atmanirbhar, self-reliant, which has merged with our vision to become a partner with the world and work along with other countries, whether it is cyber security, whether it's safer equipment, whether it's affordable solutions. I think the fact that India today engages with the world from a position of strength and with confidence is thanks entirely to the Prime Minister's leadership, his giving wings to the ambition of Indian industry, the people of India, and today we stand at the cusp of declaring, as is evident from the tagline of this conference, the future is now. What we are doing today, what we are engaged in today is laying the foundation of a very bright future, not only for India. Prime Minister mentioned in his opening remarks at the inaugural program about the G20 offering of India to the world. One world, one family, one future. When we talk of the future is now, it is not a selfish intent of India's future. India is today contributing to the world's future and is an integral part of our collective effort as the world being one family to provide digital technologies, telecom playing an increasingly important role in the future, artificial intelligence, data analytics, machine learning, the entire digitalization and modern way of working that the world is witnessing has its imprints in India. India has its presence in the ecosystem in the world, and both Bharat and the people of Bharat are being recognized for the talent they bring to the table, for the skills they bring to the table, for the large market that 1.4 billion Indians provide, which is on the table, for the innovation, the culture of innovation, and our startup ecosystem, which now defines the India growth story, and being the fastest growing large economy in the world, contributing 16-17% to global growth. I think everybody in the world recognizes that India is the place to be when we are looking at future, when we are looking at business, when we are looking at welfare of the people who have been left behind, when we are looking at democratizing the availability of technology to the whole world. I think India is leading from the front, and I'd like to compliment TPC, I'd like to compliment all the organizers of the India Mobile Congress 2024 for the wonderful work that has gone into arranging this very important program. It will go on for about 9 or 10 days. And I'm sure it will re-energize our own work towards a Viksit Bharat 2047. I must place on record my appreciation of Telecom Equipment and Services Export Promotion Council for the wonderful Atmanirbhar Bharat Pavilion that they have set up, and for giving confidence in our abilities to produce in India, make India self-reliant, and go away from those old days thinking where technologies were introduced in other countries, India would lag behind, and maybe 10 years, 20 years, 25 years after the world had already enjoyed the fruits of modern technology, we would see the benefits of fruits of that coming to India. And that had been a typical story, so much so that India had a huge debate whether we should have a colored television in India at all or not, decades after it was the norm in the whole world. But the India of today is very different. In 4G, we were slightly behind the curve. In 5G, we are introducing it in India parallelly. And in 6G, I think India will lead the world, both in development of technology and in introducing the technology for the people of India. Incidentally, friends, today is a very significant day. It's the birth anniversary of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, former President of India. He was a beacon of technological advancements. He gave the culture of innovation to India many decades ago. And in some sense, he was ahead of his times. What pioneering work he did on technology, at the cutting edge of technology, is today being recognized not only in India but across the world. And I believe he's a source of inspiration for millions of young Indians and shall forever remain a source of inspiration, particularly the way he used to engage with the youth of India, the way he used to encourage young men and women to explore the impossible, explore what was once upon a time considered to be beyond the realm of possibility in India. And I pay my respects to him. We observe today also as World Students' Day. And it's very appropriate that the India Mobile Congress and the World Telecom Standardization Assembly is being launched in India today. Of course, standardization reminds me that yesterday was World Standards Day. And that's another area where India is making rapid strides. We are trying to ensure that India becomes recognized in the world as a provider of quality goods and services. We are setting up high quality standards in every walk of life. I think Bharat Mandapam itself, in a way, is a symbol of India's growing strength on quality. And going forward, I am very confident that everything that India does will have the imprint of quality defining the India growth story. Friends, today, whether it's the availability of equipment, whether it's the availability of services, the whole world knows that data probably is the cheapest in India, is most affordable in India compared to any other part of the world. Whether it's our innovation in terms of newer and newer products, whether it's the work we are doing in 5G or 6G. 5G was launched at the India Mobile Congress barely 2 years ago. And look at the rollout. It's almost omnipresent. Across the country, every district, we have seen the spread of 5G already. And I mean, in most of my travels, I'm always checking to see in very developed economies, and I would rather refrain from taking any names, but in all my travels across the world, I find that the technology level and the availability of quality telecom service in India is far ahead of many of the developed countries. You have to struggle to make a full conversation during a car ride or a train ride in many parts of the world. Whereas in India, I think you can have a whole hour's conversation on the road. Well, Indians are known to have long conversations also. And our quality of networks is truly outstanding. And this is an outcome of Prime Minister's vision in launching the Digital India Mission nearly 10 years ago. It was in probably 2015 when we launched the Digital India Mission. And for all of you, I'd like to leave behind a food for thought. It's not that Prime Minister had foreseen that the world will have a problem like COVID. His idea of Digital India Mission was to use technology as an enabler to provide good governance, as an enabler to provide business opportunities, as an enabler to expand our economic activities and grow the country, take it to the next level in terms of our technological advancements. But can anybody in this room imagine if Digital India was not launched 10 years ago? If internet had not gone and penetrated through the length and breadth of the country, if we didn't have 1 billion internet users in this country when COVID set in, if the quality of availability of internet or the cost of internet was not as reasonable and as high quality as we experienced during COVID, can any of us imagine what life would have been during COVID? Can any of us imagine being cooped up in our homes or rooms or offices with restrictions, with lockdowns, with concerns about social contact, with social distancing being the norm, with the widespread of COVID and the speed at which it was spreading, schools being shut down, colleges not working, many businesses working from home, food coming in through e-commerce companies into our homes, the railway systems working to take food grains, coal across the country to provide seamless logistics for our import and export so that petroleum products, coal, gas, all of them, utilities are all functional throughout COVID. Businesses who are required to be functional, particularly the back-end story, did not have to suffer one day's disturbance. All of this was possible because the Prime Minister had a vision for Digital India, which he launched in 2015. And in the first 5 years itself, by the time COVID came in, India had made rapid strides in our engagement with technology, with the telecom world. And in some sense, we worked through the COVID period seamlessly. Not a single day's disturbance, not a single hour's disturbance in our provision of services to the world, Fortune 500 companies or whoever was using India as a backend. And we ensured seamlessly moving out of offices into homes, providing broadband services. I remember whether it was Railtel, Airtel, Jio, Vodafone, BSNL, all working day and night, moving broadband services to people's homes, ensuring that not for a single minute anybody could suffer any disturbance or disruption of service, which earned us as a nation the acronym Trusted Partner of the World. We are today called the Trusted Partner of the World because we did not let down a single business commitment, even during COVID. And the world today has the confidence that when you work with India, you are assured of high quality, you are assured of affordability and cost-effective solutions, and you are assured of 24/7 business activities. It gives you the confidence to come to India and work in India, which ensures that more and more companies around the world today are looking up to India for their global capability centers, for their GCCs. More and more people are recognizing the virtue of working with India as a partner in their value chain, because they know in the most dire circumstances, most difficult conditions, India can be trusted to perform, India can be trusted to deliver, and the people of India, the businesses of India, truly work with the spirit which Mahatma Gandhi had left us, that customer is king, and we will never let our customer down. Friends, over the last few years, we have moved into EdTech, Agri-Tech. FinTech, of course, is an area of strength for India. But on many newer and newer emerging technologies, India is creating new pathways. India is creating new paradigm of working, is offering new solutions to the world. And I am very confident that going forward, we will, through our national broadband mission, through our effort to take 5G to the length and breadth of the country, every single corner of India will be benefited of 5G technology. India will become a provider of services, and our Indian companies and manufacturers will become the provider of high security, quality technology and telecom equipment going forward. The Made in India and Design in India mission at scale, because we provide large economies of scale. The Indian market itself is so huge that the scale at which we can produce, the scale at which we operate, helps us make our production most competitive and helps us become a provider to the rest of the world. I am very confident that CDOT's own 4G core, which is now increasingly finding resonance in the rest of the world, will continue to provide highly secure and affordable technologies to other emerging economies, to the less developed countries, so that the stranglehold that a few large companies had, or a few, I would say, so-called big daddies in the world had, will now be hopefully eliminated, and we will have much more competition in the telecom world. I am very confident that going forward we will lead international telecom supply chains. I am sure all the participants of this Bharat Telecom will be working to become the technology and equipment provider to the rest of the world. Our exports are of course rapidly increasing, but there's lots and lots of scope ahead of us. I'm very confident that through joint ventures, through your own innovation and newer technology developments, wherever required, we can even look at technology transfers or working together with your partners across the world. Everything doesn't have to be reinvented. We can look at working in partnership with many other countries also. But let us find solutions which can truly revolutionize not only India's growth story in the digital world, but help us to take telecom to those countries who are still behind the curve. And India has a role to play, particularly in the global south. Our AI engagement, our automation engagement, our networks, all of them offer very high quality performance, and I'm sure we can lead the international effort to fulfill the sustainable development goal, where we would like to see digital connectivity across the globe of high quality and high affordability. Let us move from telco to techno, and I think there's tremendous potential in India to become the technology provider of the world, along with the telecom provider of the world. Let's rethink our own business models to look at scale and affordability and harness innovation in India, which we are proud of, which our startups are bringing out in big measure. And let us all work towards a more interconnected world, a more customer-centric world, which can take the Bharat story to the world and which can help us become the technology providers to the developed world also, but certainly become the harbinger of technology to the global south in the years to come. My best wishes to Bharat Telecom and to all the participants. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your words of inspiration. We are certainly inspired by your words. Ladies and gentlemen, moving ahead for the vote of thanks, I would like to invite Shri Sandeep Agrawal, Managing Director, Immediate Past Chairman, TEPC, to kindly join us. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, sir, for such an inspiring speech. Thank you so much. We really, this Bharat Telecom today is the showcase to 30 countries representatives are here today. And we are looking forward to ensure that all of our friends here understand that this country is the one which can provide safe and secure telecom to the world, because we know very clearly, and we have seen it in the recent past, that countries around the world ask their telecom equipment manufacturers, their software manufacturers,